What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are back covering more reactions and early reviews from a recent screening premiere of a movie, this one being the highly anticipated Weapons. This has only shot up on my most anticipated list. The more I see, the closer we get to the release date. And yeah, if you guys are excited as well, can't wait to cover these reactions with you. But before we do, if you are new here, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing, and clicking that bell. It helps out the channel a lot, and it would be greatly appreciated. But yeah, some people, some press critics, people that do interviews and all that, press junkets and everything, they've gotten to see the film early, and so we've got a batch of first reactions to cover, and I cannot wait because this, as I've said before, is one of my most anticipated films. Zach Cregger, who did this movie, obviously famously started his entire hype train with that Barbarian movie that released a couple years ago. That was phenomenal. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really loved it. And this new film that he has, which is almost like a mystery-esque thriller, it's giving Zodiac, but also like horrifying, and like it has like supernatural elements in it as well, and the cast looks so great. I mean, I can go on and on why I'm looking forward to this so much, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get straight into it. So yeah, let's go ahead and cover these reactions. And our first one comes from Griffin Schiller saying, Zach Cregger has crafted a horror masterpiece and the best film of the year with Weapons. It's Prisoners by the way of Magnolia with some of Coen's absurdist humor. An absolutely brilliant commentary on the attitudes and institutions during the fallout of a communal tragedy. The destructive sensationalism, our obsession with knowing why, our instance on jumping to blame and hyperfixating on the irrelevant inhabits our ability to be productive and find solutions, so that way the objectively abnormal does not become normal. A chilling masterclass in suspense and POV storytelling that exposes a society with dwindling empathy that tolerates dehumanizing acts. I am obsessed. This is one film I won't be able to shake. That was a lengthy one, but they seem to absolutely adore it, clearly calling it the best movie of the year for them, which is extremely high praise. And I'm so curious how this mystery unfolds and the humor that he's talking about, because that isn't in the trailers, but judging by what you could infer, I think, there could be some levity in here, and that might make for an even more enjoyable experience. I remember going into 28 years later, thinking it would kind of be like 28 days, just bigger, but it had a sense of humor to it. It had a levity to it that really made it refreshing and constantly enjoyable. You were never getting exhausted by the film, and that's one of my favorite horror movies of the year, so that's great to hear. But this next one we have comes from Matthew saying, Weapons is downright terrifying and cements Zach Cregger as a strong voice in modern horror and a master of mystery. I can't recall the last time a movie gave me chills like this one did. Extremely well structured and executed with a talented cast. Buckle the fuck up. I mean, I can't wait. I mean, when you say stuff like it gave you chills, I mean, the trailers already did that for me, but I can imagine experiencing the film itself and really seeing how these sequences and scenes and this mystery unfolds and plays out. I just cannot wait for this. I'm so intrigued at the story being told. And when it comes to modern horror, a lot of things can be, or at least feel, very rinse and repeat, very recycled. And I think one of the most refreshing things from the trailers, especially if you watch our reactions, was that it felt like something new and but still investing. Like I wanted to know what was going on. And I think that is a great setup for success when it comes to any horror film, especially something that's new, that's not IP driven and trying to kind of carve its own path. But yeah, I'm so excited for this. We got another one that'll come from Illumin Media saying, I absolutely loved Weapons. Zach Cregger has once again delivered a strikingly tense, socially engaged reinvention of age-old horror tropes. Can't wait to see this in a packed house with general audiences. This has been a fantastic year for genre pictures. I mean, that's kind of an understatement. We've had great superhero films. We've already gotten some really great horror movies. Obviously, it sounds like Weapons is no exception. And I'm curious exactly how where it ranks, because Sinners and 28 Years Later are two behemoth horror films that I can't wait to see if this film tops either of those. But yeah, this next one is pretty lengthy, coming from Matt Neglia. Always love his reactions. He's very insightful, but he says, Weapons was one of my favorite films of 2025 for most of its runtime, until the final act brought it down a few notches, and I'm sure I won't be alone in that feeling. Still, Zach Cregger once again proves he has a gift for crafting a haunting atmosphere, using jump scares sparingly but to great effect. Definitely more ambitious than Barbarian in pretty much every way. The central mystery, told through multiple perspectives, kept me guessing and fully invested in what exactly happened to this specific group of kids in this small town. While the ultimate answer isn't as satisfying as I hoped, the thematic commentary on examining the big picture versus the little picture, along with its technical skill and strong performances, make it one of the standout horror films of the year. So he seemed to be a bit more mixed positive on it due to the final act, clearly, but he was still extremely, positive and insightful in his reaction, which I appreciate. But it seems like, he wasn't over the moon on the film as much as previous reactions that we've covered, but they still really liked it, and that's great to hear. This next one that we have comes from Christopher A. Padilla saying, Weapons is dark and unsettling in every way. You thought those tunnel scenes from Barbarian were intense? This whole damn film felt that way for me. A constant uneasiness that goes faint to heart pounding. I will praise this film till it drops because it exceeded my expectations. That is so great to hear, and so many people talking about how eerie and horrifying it is, and I felt that from the trailers, and I cannot wait to feel that in the theater. This next one that we have comes from Shaq Lambert saying, Weapons is fantastic, bigger in scope than Barbarian, but a much tighter focus. Cregger makes great use of his ensemble cast and their interconnected stories, and the third act goes off the rails. Well, that is the second time we've heard something about the final act. Now, I wonder if they are referring to the third act in a positive connotation or negative. I'm curious. But it seems like that is a point of contention for some people when it comes to their feelings on this film overall. And I'm interested to see how that plays out. But this next one that we have comes from Chris saying, Weapons is an absolute blast, a creepy, funny ensemble piece that takes a Magnolia / Pulp Fiction / Shortcuts storytelling approach to unleash a memorable suburban nightmare. The grand finale had me cackling with twisted glee. So it seems like this person clearly loved the way the film wrapped up. And this is interesting because this was also a huge point of contention with the recently released 28 Years Later, which I absolutely adored the ending of, but a bunch of people seem to absolutely hate it. So I'm curious how more people will fall when it comes to Weapons. This next one that we have comes from Jermaine Lucier saying, Weapons movie is beyond messed up and I loved every second of it. It's Magnolia the horror movie, as multiple characters circle a big creepy mystery. Bit of a slow burn, but it pays off in huge, awesome, gory and disturbing ways. Less shocking than Barbarian, but much better. When you say that, you are setting a high bar. Not that Barbarian is The Shining or The Thing or the next Halloween 78 of horror films, but I thoroughly enjoyed Barbarian. My time with that film was amazing, and I can't wait for this. And for someone to say that it's even better has me very excited. We're going to cover a couple more and then wrap this up, though. This next one coming from Joe Blow saying, Weapons is yet another win for Zach Cregger. The cast is superb. Julia Gardner, Alden Ehrenreich, Josh Brolin all shine. But one performance will blow fans away. The mystery surrounding this thriller unfolds with style and genuine moments of terror. I feel like they're hinting towards Benedict Wong because in the trailers he looks absolutely horrifying and insane. You can even see by reactions, maybe that's the performance they're referring to, but either way, I can't wait. But we're going to cover this last one, pretty lengthy, coming from Perry Nimroff, and she says, Weapons rules. If you're looking for a movie that keeps you on your toes from start to finish and delivers the unexpected time and time again, this is it. It's quite chilling, both in terms of what actually happens at 2:17 a.m., but also due to the roadblocks certain characters encounter while trying to find these children. And then the cherry on top, the movie's build is absolutely impeccable. This is going to sound like hyperbole, but I can assure you it's not. I was so overjoyed by the tail end of this movie that I was essentially cackling with tears streaming down my face. That doesn't happen unless a movie earns the moment, and Weapons certainly does. I'm so curious what this final act and this ending is because people are cackling and laughing, other people don't like it, some see it as like a holy grail of an ending. I'm so curious where I'll fall, but you tell me below. What did you think about these reactions? How excited are you for Weapons? And will you be watching this film? Did you like Barbarian? Are you super stoked about this because of the trailers or anything? Let me know in the comments down below because we love discussing with you all down there. And if you did make it this far in the video, please consider liking the video, subscribing and clicking that bell. It helps us out a ton, gets us in the algorithm. It's completely free as well and would be greatly, greatly appreciated. But other than that, it's been your boy 𝙎𝙬𝙚𝙚, and hopefully I will see you all in the next one.